As time inevitably moves forward and the years go on and progress without our control, do we treat fragrances that are a few years old like trash and trade them in just like you would for a car? Or are fragrances like Lattafa Khamrah and Lattafa Khamrah timeless masterpiece that you can wear even today in 2026? On today's episode, we're going to be discussing, are Khamrah and Khamrah Qahwa still relevant today, this year? And if you could only choose one of these two fragrances, which one is worth your money and your time? Stick around, we're going to talk about all of that right now. Welcome to the channel, people. My name is Keenan. Keenan Cologne is my YouTube channel. Please, for the love of God, do me a favor. If you love fragrances the way we do over here, give me a follow. Every single week, I'll be dropping 2 videos to discuss new arrivals and in some cases, timeless classics like these, to give you the real on them, to give you an unbiased opinion and an unbiased review. If you find yourself saying, yeah, honey, I'll come to the mall with you, only so that way you can go straight to the fragrance section and smell samples, you're not alone, bro. We feel the same way over here. We are a large, loving community of all things fragrance. Whether it be Middle Eastern, designer, niche, you name it, we love it, we review it. Please hit that subscribe button. Won't cost you $1, and I promise it's going to be worth your time. As mentioned in today's episode, we are talking about 2 of the most popular dupes for Kilian's Angel Share to date. Just for reference, this is Lattafa Khamrah Qahwa, which was released in 2023, so it's a tad bit newer. We're going to talk about the differences, and what we like to do on this channel is go over a few different categories. We're going to go over performance and longevity in terms of sillage and how long it's actually going to last on your skin. We're going to discuss seasons and situations. When and where are you going to reach for this fragrance? And then finally, we're going to talk about value for money. Is it worth the investment to grab either one of these? Now, you can't really talk about Lattafa Khamrah or Kilian's Angel Share for that matter without mentioning the OG. This is the original Khamrah, and this thing is a masterpiece, and to date, it is still relevant. Anytime you hear about a Kilian's Angel Share dupe, for general reference, just think about a warm-baked, boozy apple pie. That's exactly the vibes that you're going to get with this. This thing is warm, it's sweet, it's attention-grabbing, and it's highly addictive. Once you smell it, it's going to catch you off guard no matter how familiar with even the OG you are, because of how this thing comes across. Throwing the notes up on the screen here, as you guys can see in the opening, you're going to get that nice sharp cinnamon and nutmeg with a touch of bergamot to make it kind of lift off the skin a little bit for you. The 2 most prominent notes that happen in the midsection of this fragrance, aside from the cinnamon in the opening, that your nose will not let your brain forget that you smelled, are going to be those dates as well as that sweet praline. It just adds a sweet, creamy, warm, almost ambery kind of sensation that you can only associate with Lattafa Khamrah. Then finally in the base, you are going to get some myrrh, you're going to get the vanilla, tonka bean, and that's where the woods happen as well. Overall, this is a really, really solid gourmand leaning fragrance. The 2 gripes that some folks had about the original Lattafa Khamrah is that it was too sweet and in some cases even headache inducing. Now, luckily for me, I rock this all the time. I have no issues with the sweetness, nor do I have issues with any sort of headaches or anything like that. To each his own, everyone's going to react differently. However, I would say this is an absolute banger. But that was until I discovered this one right here. This is Lattafa Khamrah Qahwa. This bad boy was released in 2023, so it is 1 year younger than its predecessor, but it's still 3 years old compared to right now. So the real question is this better than the original? And is it worth the buy even now in 2026? Hell yes, absolutely. This stuff is delicious. I'm going to put it to you like this. If you don't have either one of these, should you get one? Yes. Which one should you get if you have neither? This one right here. Khamrah Qahwa takes the cake. It is a little bit better in multiple categories we're going to go over right now. This is a less sweet, in my opinion, slightly more masculine leaning, more daily wearable of that same Kilian's Angel Share DNA you got with Khamrah, but this thing just hits differently. Qahwa, for those of you who don't know, that just means coffee in Arabic. And as you guessed it, they threw a coffee note in this thing, and it is absolutely insane. See, what I love so much about Khamrah Qahwa is not just simply the fact that there's a coffee note in here, it's the complexity of how they put it in. This is not in the opening or the mid. That coffee comes through primarily in the dry down, and in my opinion, I'm just going to be honest and say this, for a dupe fragrance, this is top 5 in terms of the best dry downs in the industry. I know. He's got to just be saying this for some reason. He must be sponsored. Absolutely not. Try it for yourself. Smell the dry down. Let this sit on your skin for a few hours. This thing lasts forever too. Let it sit on your skin for a few hours and tell me the way that the sweetness, the praline, as well as that coffee and the vanilla, tell me the way that this comes through in the dry down is not top 5 in terms of Middle Eastern dupes and inspos. It is absolute fire. Putting a note breakdown right here on the screen just so you guys can see it. In the opening, you can see very, very similar to the OG. The opening for Khamrah Qahwa is a tad bit brighter than what you would get with this, for the simple fact that you get ginger as well as cardamom and cinnamon. In the midsection is where some of that sweetness and the complexity starts to really shine through. After about 30 minutes or so, you will notice it on your skin. That's where you're going to get the candied fruits, the white florals, as well as the praline. But boy, oh boy, wait until that dry down hits. Once you get to the base notes in this fragrance, that's where you start to see it shine through, and it's an obvious winner when comparing this to this. The coffee comes across very sophisticated, elegant, almost coffee ground, like a powdery type of coffee, mixed with that vanilla, tonka bean, benzoin, and you get some musk as well. Very, very unforgettable. As I said before, if you are shopping between these two, not only is it worth it to go Qahwa, but in a lot of cases, depending on where you grab it, Qahwa, for whatever reason, seems to be a little bit cheaper. Sub $30 for a fragrance that is going to get you compliments, okay? Now let's talk about seasons of wear, occasions. When are you going to actually pull this thing out? Bottom line, grab Khamrah Qahwa when it is chilly or when it's cold out. Does not matter if it's the holiday season, though this does incredible in the holiday season, but it can be any single occasion that occurs in the cold weather. You're taking your wife or your girlfriend out on a date, you're going to the movies, you're running errands. It does not matter. You will get compliments with this. And like I said before, the sweetness is cranked down a couple notches compared to the OG here. So it's not going to be cloying. It's not going to be in your face or irritating or offensive to anyone. You're still going to get that quintessential Lattafa Khamrah vibe that we're all familiar with, but this just adds a little something extra, and I think it is totally worth it in your collection. Now let's bring the OG back in so we can go over longevity and performance. Both of these, it does not matter which one you go with, both of these things are going to give you minimum 12 hours on skin. Like legitimately 12 hours on skin. Now the projection is going to occur for about the first 2.5 to 3 hours. That's where it's a moderate to strong projection where you're going to receive a lot of compliments when you first leave the house. But I'm telling you, spray this on your hand, either one of them, and tell me that at hour 12 you can't still obviously smell it. This stuff is powerful. Does not matter which one you go with, but I'm just going to say it like it is. Get Qahwa. And if we're talking about presentation and bottle design, absolutely flawless. These are beautiful bottles. I would dare to almost say that I prefer the square over the more cylindrical vibe that you get with the original Killian's Angel Share. But for under $30 in most cases, one of the best presentations in the game. So overall, if we're looking at the winner of this competition, which is Lattafa Khamrah Qahwa, is this thing played out and outdated for 2026? Since the release of this was in 2023, it is now about 3 years old. Is this played out and tired, or is this something that you should absolutely add to your stash ASAP? In my personal opinion, I think this smell is absolutely timeless. I don't think that there will be a time in the future that I can foresee where this wouldn't smell incredible on any guy. In the cooler weather, jacket season, if you're putting a coat on, this is a beautiful fragrance, and I would absolutely, for sub $30, if you can find a good deal on this, absolutely add this to your stash ASAP, even right now in 2026. So long story short, if my opinion mattered and Lattafa asked me to rate these two fragrances, with this being the best, obviously, of the two, what would I give it? I would give the original Lattafa Khamrah an 8.3 out of 10, and I would give Khamrah Qahwa a 9 out of 10. I think Qahwa just has the slight edge. They're both beautiful. If you own the OG, weigh it out for yourself. I think for sub $30, it's still worth having both. You don't need it, though. They do have a very, very similar opening. The mid is where things start to separate. But overall, just like usual, as per always, Lattafa came through. These two are absolute bangers. You should totally grab them even now in 2026. And I know that the weather's getting warmer and springtime's approaching, but you can absolutely rock either one of these in the springtime, early spring, or in the evening, all spring. If you guys appreciate genuine, authentic reviews like this for fragrances, if you love all things fragrance, please, I cannot grow this channel without your help. Hit that subscribe button. Won't cost you a thing. I would love to be your source of advice if you guys are looking for recommendations. If you have any questions about anything, just drop it down below in the comments. We'd love to chat with you. But do me just this one favor before you guys leave. When you go out and buy Lattafa Khamrah Qahwa, thank me when it comes in. Peace. I'll catch you on the next episode.